When people talk about Atlanta today, they forget about something fundamental. Atlanta wasn't always a center for hip-hop. Before Future, before Migos, before Young Thug or 21 Savage, Atlanta was just another regional city fighting for attention in a culture dominated by New York and LA. And right now, Japan has been going through the same exact thing. Not Tokyo, not Osaka, not Fukuoka, Wakayama. Now, to be clear, regional scenes in Japan have always existed. Okinawa, for example, has built its own distinct hip-hop identity. Artists like A-Witch, Tsubaki, Osworld, Chico Carlito, they've collaborated on tracks together like Rasen and Okinawa, and even went on a Rasen and Okinawa tour together, a tour uniting their sound, culture, and hometown pride across major venues. But that's kind of a different scene. Okinawa's network works because those artists choose to work together and represent their island's culture. Wakayama's rise is different. Wakayama isn't just producing rappers, it's producing a system that produces voices, it produces infrastructure, and a system that makes a whole region matter, the same way Atlanta did. Before we get any deeper, I want to say something quickly. I'm not a Wakayama expert, I don't claim to be a Japanese historian for hip-hop, and I didn't grow up in the scene. But what I am here to offer is the foreigner's perspective of what's going on over there and sharing my thoughts and opinions on that. So that's what Nihon Rush Hour is all about. For every city that becomes legendary, it starts with one artist who makes people look twice. And for Atlanta, that artist was Outkast. They weren't trap, they weren't street rap, and they weren't trying to sound like New York or West Coast. They were just Atlanta, and the world noticed. And for Wakayama, that moment comes from Tofu.
Mera city, Wakayama.
Tofu comes from Wakayama City, appears on Rapstar, and drops The Legend of Tofu in 2020. Then, his music video for Sakura goes so far that it charts #1 in the UK hip-hop category. And bro, that's a crazy thing for someone from Wakayama to do. That's Wakayama's big Outkast moment. That's one artist proving something super powerful. You don't have to be from Tokyo to reach the rest of the world. Atlanta didn't become Atlanta just because of rappers. It became Atlanta because of infrastructure. Producers like Metro Boomin and Zaytoven, studios where people actually met, rooms where ideas turn into records. Wakayama has that same structure. At the center of it is Homunculus, a producer born in Wakayama City that is literally shaping the sound of the movement. He's the person behind Mikado's Homunculus album, he's the person behind Tofu's New School album. That means two of Wakayama's biggest stars aren't just connected by a hometown. They're also connected by one producer who's making a unified sound. And these sounds have to be created somewhere, right? Places like Black Box in Wakayama, which is officially a bar and a recording studio that's become part of the city's hip-hop ecosystem. And this isn't theory. Nana herself said when she and Mikado were working on the song Ha, they were literally at Black Box when the idea came together. Media outlets even describe Black Box as being a studio hub for Wakayama's DJs and beat makers and rappers. Locations like this are the key. This isn't just artists sending DMs and files to each other. This is artists being in the same studios, in the same rooms, and making music together. That's how Atlanta was built, and that's exactly how Wakayama is being built right now. Every real scene needs someone that sounds, well, real. For Atlanta, that was 21 Savage. For Wakayama, I think that's Nana. She's from Kainan City, and in 2023, she became a Rapstar finalist. Her voice is cold, direct, and raw. And with her successfully growing every single year since then, she's inevitably going to reach mainstream appeal. And with Nana, her diverse vocal ranges and flows are what really makes her stand out. She doesn't feel manufactured, she feels real and lived in, and she gives Wakayama its music credibility. The city doesn't just have a hit maker, it also has a truth teller. Atlanta didn't become Atlanta until Future arrived. Future took pain, melody, fashion, and vulnerability, and he turned it into something modern. That's exactly what Mikado does for Wakayama. When he dropped Yuta and then eventually the remix with Nana and Kojiya, that didn't just become a song, it became a Wakayama anthem. His album Homunculus is produced entirely by Homunculus, just like Future built his sound with Metro. Mikado became the artist that makes people say, "Where the hell is Wakayama?" And they don't just say Mikado anymore. Now they say Wakayama. That's when a city becomes bigger than one star. This is the moment where the Atlanta comparison becomes really fun. Atlanta didn't just blow up solely because of Future. It became dominant when multiple people's voices from the same city started appearing on the same major platforms at the same time. Young Thug, Migos, Lil Baby, Cardi, different styles, same hometown. That's what Wakayama hits in 2025. And don't forget, this year in Rapstar, we had Harka and Anel take the national spotlight, and they did it together. Both Harka and Anel appear in Rapstar 2025's selection cipher clips, which means they're not just local names, they're being shown on the same national stage that helped launch Mikado and Nana. And Harka, he doesn't stop there. He also appears on Red Bull Rawson, one of the most respected freestyle and cypher platforms in Japanese hip-hop, the kind of place artists go to when they want to prove they're not just popular, but they're also skilled. So by 2025, Wakayama doesn't just have Mikado as a star and Nana as a voice and Tofu as a pioneer, but it has Harka and Anel, the next wave, the next generation, and they're doing it together. That's exactly how a city becomes powerful. Not one artist, not two, but a cluster. A group that makes the industry realize this place keeps producing. That's the Atlanta moment, and Wakayama just hit it. There's a moment in every real hip-hop city when things shift. Not when one artist gets hot, but when the artists from that city start moving as a unit. Atlanta had that with Quality Control, Migos, Slime. Those weren't just labels or crews, they were signals. They told the industry the city isn't one voice, it's a movement. And in October of 2025, Mikado, Harka, Anel, three of the city's most visible voices drop a joint project. Gun, Soul, Life, Style. And the very first thing you hear on that album is a track called Gun, Soul, Walk. That's a really important title because Gunso, it's the who, it's the identity. Walk, that's the action. It's not I'm here, it's we're coming. This isn't three artists doing features for clout. This is three Wakayama voices standing side by side and saying, this is our city. That's why Gunso Walk feels bigger than just being a song. It's a Wakayama banner. It's their quality control moment when the scene stops being individual careers and becomes a collective. Wakayama didn't copy Atlanta's sound. It copied its formula. One early star, a producer hub, multiple breakout voices, crew identity, platform dominance. Tofu proved it was possible. Homunculus, he built the engine. Nana, Mikado, they made it global. Look at me now, I'm listening to it and I don't even live in Japan. Then you have Harka, Anel, they made it something that's deeper. Wakayama isn't the future of Japanese hip-hop. Wakayama is the present.